This is Mark Bell from Super Training Gym in Sacramento. There's my Lucky K-Stars, my homie t-shirt. K-Star, aka Kelly Starrett, the owner of MobilityWOD.com, a fantastic website to help those of us that are not so supple leopards get into better positions in a given sport. You should really check it out, MobilityWOD.com. This is Super Training Gym, the strongest gym in the West. We got a lot of training going on this day. This is a typical Saturday at Super Training. You got Riley squatting there with the safety squat bar and some bands. Safety squat bar tends to pull you forward, working the mid to upper back, aka the thoracic area. There's Robot squatting those ridiculous orange pants again. And got myself, Ryan Spencer, and David Butt Squish doing some Thompson raw squats, a dynamic effort session. 8 sets of 3 reps is what we did on this day, using half the weight that we used on max effort day. There's Austin Baumgarten go up the safety bar as well. Got a green band on there. The band adds probably 100 to 150 pounds at the top of the lift. Austin sticking with some repetitions rather than just doing regular dynamic work. Not exactly sure why he did this, but I will tell you that repetitions are a great way to build up a lot of strength and a great way to reinforce technique and form. If you hit a shitty area with a lockout in a squat or lockout in a deadlift or even lockout on the bench, or just hit sticking points, repetitions is one of the best ways to work through sticking points, because you'll notice if you do a set of 10 reps on the every rep basically after 7 or so with a given weight, 7, 8, 9, 10 reps, those are the ones that are all going to look shitty. You're going to work through that sticking point. Louis Simmons refers to that sticking point, breaking through that sticking point, as a mini max, which is kind of a funny term, but breaking through those sticking points is very difficult, and sometimes it's hard to select the correct weight. So let's just say you're doing a squat like these guys are doing with the safety squat bar, and they want to kind of work through that sticking point. Where if they're only doing singles, and they go up a quarter and then they go up a plate, they might not really ever get through that sticking point with the correct weight. Whereas if you do it with repetitions, you get to go through that sticking point over and over and over again, and you're also not going to hurt yourself because the load is much lighter. I just said load. Here's Ryan Spencer getting after it. Squatting into these chains is pretty odd. It feels like you have a great range of motion, feels like you're moving around a lot, but if you actually look at our hips, I mean, we're not super low there, which is exactly why I like the exercise, because I think that it's going to help a lot of us improve that bottom positioning that is so important to the squat. If I'm going to squat 1120, 1140, it's going to be because I maintain my positioning. I'm not going to be able to gut it out all rounded over and shit, especially from the start. So I'll have to try to keep my chest up and not fall around like I am right there. But you're going to have to maintain a neutral back, and you're going to have to stay tight and do everything just right. And I think exercise like this will really help a lot in maintaining positioning for a raw lifter or a geared lifter. There's Ryan Spencer going again. We got 315 pounds on there. I guess the bar is an extra 10, so 325. And then we have 3 chains per side. Each chain is about 20 pounds. I did 700 with this lift with an ass ton of chains. And so I just said, okay, well, I'll do around 350-ish for my speed work. Just cut the weight rate in half. And I cheated and used 325. But we have chains on there, so it's all good. Here's Juan Leja going. Juan's working on some squats. He needs to work on his deadlift. But here he is working on some squats. Got Spence going again here. This was all done very rapidly. We cranked through these 8 sets of 3 to the point where we were all breathing hard and sweating our asses off. It was made for a great workout. Donnie Thompson, believe it or not, actually does like kettle cleans and all kinds of shit, even in between doing those. I think he'll do about 4 sets of kettlebell cleans, and he'll do about 4 sets of kettlebell either snatches or swings in between these sets, which is just kind of unbelievable because the guy weighs like 900 pounds. You can see how brutally strong I am raw, 325, just manhandling it. But raw strength is not something I've really focused on a lot, and it's kind of the last stone to unturned. I kind of have a saying that I stole from the great Louis Simmons. Louis has a saying where he says, if I had $1 million under a rock, in a rock garden, how many rocks would you turn over till you found the money? And his point to the story is, leave no stone unturned. Keep flipping over those stones until you find what you're looking for. And the same thing is true with weight training. Keep turning those stones over until you find the right exercise to get you to the next level. Here's Robot. Picture perfect form as usual. Robotic mechanics. Very upright. Here goes David again. You can see how David at the bottom is not allowing his chest to fold over. He's fighting it. And that's exactly what you want to try to be doing. You can see from myself, due to like poor mobility through the hips, crunching down a little bit, but did a halfway decent job on those. Really kind of trying to force the knees out. One way to prevent yourself from dropping that chest down is just to continue to force the knees out. Watch watch almost any great squatter, and you're going to notice that they all do a great job of forcing their knees out. Even Eddie Cohn, who was a single ply lifter, who lifted with a more conventional technique, his stance was more moderate compared to some of the multi-ply lifters of today. Even Ed Cohn would force his knees out real hard. A lot of great Olympic lifters, when they do their Olympic squats, they force their knees out real hard as well. Anyone out there ever notice that Olympic lifters, they always talk about their squat as if it's something that they compete in? They also talk about the back squat, which I find to be absolutely retarded. I like Olympic lifting, and I appreciate the sport, but why they call it a back squat, it just baffles my mind. It's a fucking squat is what it is. And if you want to call it a front squat, then that's where you have the weight on the front of your body. If you want to call it a sissy squat, that's another type of squat. But a squat is a squat. It's with the barbell on your back. It doesn't have to be called a back squat. God damn it. Here goes Riley again. You can see these guys are getting in a great amount of work as well. Even though it's the B team, they're getting in a lot of great work. B team is actually an understatement, especially with Juan on this squad. This is more like the double D team. There's Juan pumping out a pretty good set there, pretty good form. What company makes those ridiculous orange shorts? Only a copycat company would make shorts like that. That's it from supertraining.tv.